Okay, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you all. The camera is a little twisted. Oh, I can fix that. Great. Okay, good morning. Let's meet on our mats, sitting down, and then stretch your legs out in front of you. Once you get there, just lean your torso back on the mat. Hands at your side. Let your toes flop out, heels in. We're going to begin where we hopefully will end. Once you sort of get on your back, start noticing your body. Notice the little details. Notice the cadence of your breath, maybe the temperature of your skin, maybe the temperature of the room. Good job. Make a fist with both your hands. And then open your hands really, really wide. Stretch the skin on the palms of your hands. Make fists again. Stretch them out long. Make your fingers longer. Relax your hands on the mat. Bend your knees now. Put your feet down on the mat. Straighten your right leg and move your right foot up toward the ceiling. And then with both of your hands, either grab a hold of your knee or your shin or your lower leg or your ankle or maybe even your foot. Your head maybe to move up, or you can take the option to just keep your torso, your head down on the mat. With your foot pressing up toward the ceiling, pull your toes back toward your knees. Spread your toes. Push your big toe upward and pull your little toe back toward your knee. Awesome job. So today we're going to have just a pervasive focus of present moment. The discussion I was having yesterday about the value of present moment just made me, I couldn't resist talking about it today. Let go of your right foot. Put your right bottom of your right foot on the mat. Straighten your left leg up toward the ceiling. Reach both of your hands up toward your shin or your calf. You can lift your head up if you want, or you can keep your head and torso down on the mat. Pull your toes back toward your knees. Spread your toes. See if you can feel air in between your toes. So this concept of present moment, it really works well with yoga. It basically means you're really not thinking about what you're going to do after the yoga class or what you did before the yoga class or even how you feel about anything except for your body. So just be in the present moment. Let go of your left leg. Bring your left foot down to the mat. Bring air in through your lungs and lift your hips up and tuck your shoulders underneath you. Your hips are being pushed up. This is bridge pose. Just waking our torso up. Lower your hips back down to the mat. Push your hips up toward the ceiling again and tuck your shoulder blades together underneath you even more. Some people like to clasp their hands in bridge pose. I don't usually. I like to have just the back of my hands resting on the mat. Lower your hips down. Pull your knees in toward your chest. Grab a hold of your knees from the front. Become aware of your feet again. Pull your toes back toward your knees. Feel that in your calves. Let your knees roll to the left-hand side. And find yourself in a tiny twist, really. Just start out slowly. Bring your knees up vertically. Let your knees roll to the other side. Bring your arms to a goalpost position or a cactus position. So arms bent 90 degrees, upper arms coming straight up from the shoulders. Let your knees bend back to the left with cactus arms. And then move your knees back to the right. Just wake it up. Wake our torsos up. Good job. Since you're leaning to the right-hand side now, let your shoulders come vertically. Come to tabletop. Just move through whatever movements you have to make to get your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Inhale, let your belly drop, lift your head, cow pose. Exhale, push the middle of your back upward, let your head drop down, cat pose. So I've got my toes pointed right now. Take your toes and tuck them under. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more time, cow pose. Cat pose. Good job. Straighten your right leg out behind you. Both palms are still on the mat. Lift your right toes off the mat. Make sure they're pointed right down toward the mat. And then move your right foot over the top of your left, off to the left-hand side, and put your toes back down on the mat. Take your gaze and move it to the left and feel your torso expand on the right-hand side. Take an inhale here. Exhale it out. Inhale one more time. Exhale it out. Let your gaze come back to kind of neutral. Lift your right leg up and put it down on the mat where it normally would be, and then bring your right knee down to the mat. Let's move to the other side. I'm going to have my toes tucked under still. Bring your left foot back with your toes pointing downward. Your left leg is straight. Lift your left leg off the mat. Bring your left foot over the top of your right and your toes down to the mat. Allow your gaze to go over your right shoulder. Feel your left hip this time and left torso expanding. Bring air in through your nose. Exhale that air out your nose. And one more inhale. And one more exhale. Good job. Lift your left leg up and bring it right down so you're in a tabletop pose. Toes are tucked under. Exhale, bring yourself to downward facing dog. Push your hips up toward the ceiling. Bend your knees to start with. Push your hands harder away from your shoulders. Allow your index finger to be part of your awareness and push it into the mat. And then slowly begin to approach straightening your legs and let your heels descend whatever and however they do to the mat. Good job. Take an inhale breath and look to the top of your mat. As you exhale, slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. We're just waking ourselves up. Inhale, halfway lift, your hands move to your shins, gaze is still down, your upper back is straight, parallel with the floor. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, push into your feet, raise your hands above your head. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Drop your hands down to your side. Move your hands behind you and clasp your hands. Lift your shoulder heads up to your ears and then push them back and move your hands, your clasped hands, away from your hips. Feel how that makes your actually shoulders are kind of narrower and your shoulder blades are much closer together. Let your hands loose. Inhale, raise your hands above your head. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart center. Drop your hands down to your side and just step your feet left and right a little bit. Let your toes go out, heels in. Bring your hands down to your knees. Sort of bend forward a little bit so that your arms are supporting yourself. It's kind of just a easy position to be in. You've got lots of support. We're going to do some double breathing here. So the way this works, double inhale breaths through your nose, double exhale breaths through your mouth. So let's just keep going. Here we go. Okay, that's awesome. You stand yourself up tall, bring your feet together. Inhale, inside of your feet parallel. Bring your hands to your side, palms face forward, and I'll be quiet. Check in, notice how you're feeling. Good job. Inhale, raise your hands above your head. And we're not really going to fold over too much. Bring your hands back down to your sides. Lift your right leg or right foot off the mat. All your weight's in your left foot. Bring your right foot over and in front of the left. And bring your pinky toes to touch. Bend your knees any amount. And then forward, bend forward at the waist. Bring your torso down to the mat. You can reach for a block. You could be on the high setting on your block. And then experiment, just sort of bring your legs straighter if that works for you, or if it's not much of an IT band stretch, move your block so it's on a lower setting. Or maybe don't use your block at all and bend your knees. And then approach straightening your knees. Notice the hip area on your left-hand side. Bring your hands now, just walk your hands to the right and just feel that stretch increase a bit. But be careful, remember, we're not going to feel any pain in the class. So that means if anything hurts, you make an adjustment so that you are doing it without feeling pain. It allows you to stay in the present moment. That's what it's all about. Bring your hands back to a neutral position. Push into your feet, raise your hands above your head, stand up nice and tall, and bring your hands through heart center and down to your side. Step your right foot to its normal position. Bring all of your weight into the right foot now. Lift your left leg or left foot off the mat and bring it in front of, and bring your pinky toes together. Hopefully you've still got a block in good reach for you. Bend forward at the waist, come down to the block. Bend your knees any amount. If this is a pose that just hurts, just don't do it. Just focus on your breath. Just keep yourself in the present moment. So you're bending forward, you've given yourself a big IT band stretch. Sort of tease your body in and out of a larger stretch and a less large stretch. Just with a little slight movement. I'm doing it by kind of straightening or moving my right leg a little bit straighter. And I really feel it on the right-hand side. And then slowly walk your hands, just walk your hands a little bit to the left of your feet. Continue to breathe. If you drift out of the present moment, just come on back. Whatever you might need to think about will be there when you get done practicing. Bring yourself back to neutral. Begin to straighten yourself up nice and tall. Step your left foot to its normal position. Inhale, raise your hands above your head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Drop your hands down. Good job. Now we'll move into some more classical vinyasa type movements. Inhale, raise your hands above your head. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins. Exhale, step back, high plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, keep your elbows close, lower to the ground. Point your toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Your head and your shoulder move up any amount for you. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes under. Bring yourself to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, bring your right foot to your right hand. High crescent lunge. Inhale, raise your hands above your head, your front knee is bent. Exhale, bring your arms to cactus or goalpost. Inhale, raise yourself up just a little bit. Raise your hands above your head. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Step right foot back to meet your left. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Point your toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes under, come through high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, right foot to your right hand. Inhale, high crescent lunge, raise your hands above your head. Your front knee is bent, back leg is approaching straight. Inhale, breath here. As you exhale, bring your arms to a cactus or a goalpost. Inhale, raise them back up. Exhale, hands down to frame your front foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Point your toes. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Bring your torso upward and your head. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes under. Come through tabletop or high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, bring your right foot up to your right hand and stay in a low lunge position. So your torso is low, your front knee is bent. Allow your left hand to go down to the mat or maybe put it under or put a block under. Inhale your right arm up toward the ceiling. As you exhale with your right hand, bring it underneath your right leg and put a flat hand that's facing up toward the ceiling underneath it. Sometimes I think this is you could have a platter on your right hand, delivering the platter under your leg. Inhale your right arm up toward the ceiling again. Exhale, bring it down to frame your front foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, lower down. Point your toes. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes under, come through high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here to reset. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Let it out your nose. All right, inhale, left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, bring your left foot up to your left hand. Stay low. We're in a lunge position. Put a block under your right hand or put your right palm down to the mat. Inhale your left arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale, let your left hand go underneath your body, underneath your left leg. Let your palm on your left hand face up toward the ceiling. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Step your left leg back to meet your right. Inhale through your nose. Exhale to the mat. Point your toes. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale down. Tuck your toes under. Come through high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale your right foot up to your right hand. Warrior one feet. So your left foot comes down to the mat, 45-degree angle to the side. Push yourself up. Grab your hips, hold on to your hips. Push your left hip forward and your right hip backward. Inhale, hands above your head, warrior one. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Lift your left heel up, step your right foot back to meet your left. Take an inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower to the mat. Point your toes, Cobra Pose, inhale. Exhale, lower yourself down. Tuck your toes under, come back to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale your left foot up to your left hand. Good job. Warrior one feet. Your right foot goes completely down to the mat, 45-degree angle. Front knee bent. Bring your torso up. Put your hands on your hips. Push your right hip forward, left hip backward. Inhale, hands above your head, warrior one pose. Exhale, lower hands down to frame your front foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Inhale here. Exhale down. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Inhale, come up to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your right foot to your right hand. So just for a second, toe heel your right foot out to the side a bit, maybe off your mat, and bring your right hand inside both of your feet. Good job. Lower your left knee down to the mat. And then begin to bend your arms. Your right leg is bent kind of at a 90 degree, and your left knee is on the mat. And then you begin to bend your arms. You can move your palms a little bit more forward. Maybe you could come down to the elbow on your left hand, left arm. Or maybe you could come down to your elbow on the right. Only some of us will do that. I'm not one of them. Begin to walk yourself back up so that your palms are right underneath where you're gazing. Leave your left palm down. Lift your right palm up toward the ceiling. Bend your left leg and grab a hold of the top of your left foot. And maybe that just doesn't work for you today. Maybe it does. Continue holding on to your foot. And when you do that, see if you can move your left hip forward just a little bit. What you're doing is you're opening up the hip flexor on the left side. Bring yourself back, let your foot go. Try not to let it spring down to the floor. Both palms are down. Step your right leg back to meet your left. Bring your left foot forward outside of your left hand. We'll just move to the other side. So start off by moving your hands a little bit forward with more bent arms. Maybe your right elbow can go down to the mat. Maybe your left can, maybe it can't. Whichever works for you. This is your practice. Okay, now you're sort of in this lower position and you feel a big stretch on the inside of your left leg. Bring yourself back up to your palms. Lift your left arm up and back behind you with your right leg bent. Grab hold of the top of your right foot. And then the idea here is just let your right hip move forward. When you do that, you'll feel a stretch in your hip flexor, the front of your right hip. Sometimes it works to sort of move into a slightly deeper stretch and move yourself back out and then back in. You're just teasing yourself in to the pose. Awesome job. Let go of your right foot. Pull your left foot behind you. Find yourself in high plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Take your hands now and move them underneath your gaze and put your forehead down onto your hands. Your elbows will go out wide and your forehead is on the mat. It's actually on your hands. Take your gaze now and look to the left-hand side and put your ear on your hands, on the top of your hands. Just continue to notice your breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice if your mind is wandering. Bring your chin back to your hands. Turn your head to the right-hand side. Let your left ear rest on the back of your hands. It's not that easy to be in the present moment. And really the practice of it is bringing yourself back to the present moment. It's not being in the present moment. It's the routine of bringing yourself back. Move your chin down to the mat. Bring your arms so that your palms are right by your shoulders. Push yourself up to a tabletop pose. Bring your knees wide and your big toes to touch.
Let your hips move down to your heels. Reach your hands forward, child's pose. Your forehead might come down to the mat. Notice your breath. Bring an inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, let all the air out. Inhale through your nose again. Open mouth, let it all out. The next voice you hear will be Margot, as soon as she gets there.
Here I come. From child's pose, drag yourself forward. So hips high, walk your hands forward. Puppy pose. So chest is trying to descend, hips are high. And then leave your hands where they are, glide forward. Adjust your feet so they're pointing straight behind you and you're lifting your chest. We're going to glide back into puppy pose. So imagine all those of you with a dog, the first thing they do when they wake up from a nap is this. So butt up, chest down, and they might be looking up at you, hoping for a treat. And then glide forward, tops of the feet are down. You might even lift your knees off the mat and they look up. We're going to do that again. So I call these Oakley stretches. I watch her do this several times a day. When you glide forward, your shoulders come over your wrists and maybe you come just on the top of your feet. That would be up dog. And glide back, puppy pose. So your arms are long and you're trying to lift your gaze. Maybe you can just barely see the top of your mat. I know that my spine is not as mobile as Oakley's. Lift up. Okay. Enough of that. Sphinx. Forearms are parallel to each other today. Elbows under shoulders. With an inhale breath, look forward, maybe look up. Elbows pressing in. And then with an exhale breath, just tuck your chin. We'll just start there. So we're right here in Sphinx pose. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, lift. First your ribs away, then your belly button, then your hip pointers, then your thighs. Drop your head, Sphinx roll up. It takes quite a bit of attention just to be in your body. Roll down, thighs, hip pointers, belly. Maybe your low ribs get to the mat. Mine don't quite get there. Okay, drop your head. Exhaling, Sphinx roll up. It's remarkable, and then inhaling. I call this Sphinx roll down. It's remarkable what slow, steady, intentional movement, that's part of the present moment, that intention part. Roll up into Sphinx roll up, and then roll down. It's remarkable what it can do for the body's strength. Forearm plank. I like to clasp my hands together. Gives me confidence. Tuck your toes under. So start as if you were doing a Sphinx roll up. Lift first, ribs, belly button, thighs, and then maybe your knees lift off. You're in forearm plank. If you want, you can step your feet, just pick them up and put them down, or you can toe touch to the outer edge of your mat if you want. You might notice some interesting sounds in your spine. Not to worry. If they're painful, you don't do this. Knees down. Press back into puppy pose. So straight arms, hips are pretty high, forehead down, chest is trying to get down. It's awesome. Hands at the top of the mat, fingers wide. Tuck your toes. Down dog. Inhale your right leg. For those of you who like Pigeon, put your right knee behind your right hand. For those of you who think Pigeon's a little crazy, try 90-90. I'm going to 90-90. Those of you who know Pigeon, it's a really active posture. Drag your kneecaps towards each other. And in today's Pigeon, keep your chest up. If you've joined me in 90-90, the 90-90 refers to the angle of shin bone to thigh bone on both legs. Inhale your arms overhead and bow towards the left. You might not make much progress towards your left. Everybody, hands to the top of the mat, make your way out of Pigeon or 90-90 and press back into down dog. Inhale the left leg straight up behind you. Left knee target behind the left hand, and then it's yogi's choice. Pigeon, maybe for some of you, 90-90 for the others. I'm gonna do Pigeon on this side. So with Pigeon, elbows or forearms can come down to the mat. Keep your chest up and then activate your legs as if you were trying to draw your kneecaps towards each other. If you're a 90-90, bow to the right. Just feel the opening side bodies, hips. One more breath here. Place your hands at the top of the mat. Unwind yourself from whichever one of those postures you chose and push back into down dog. Inhale the right leg straight up behind you. Exhale, knee to nose and pause there. So glide your shoulders over your wrists and then reach your foot behind you. Knee to nose, one more time. Reach up behind you, big inhale breath. And then exhale, bring that foot forward, plant it between your hands, tack down the back foot, your left foot, and rise up into warrior two. Big exhale breath here. Settle, bend, whatever's comfortable for you in the front leg, straight and strong in the back leg. Glutes are drawing together, inner thighs are drawing together, feet are really powerful, arches are lifted, arms overhead. Exhale the left hand to your side body, the right forearm down to your right thigh. Extended side angle. Look up if you like. And then slide your right hand down your front shin, any amount, and straighten your front leg, gliding into triangle pose. Left arm can float vertical overhead. Reach between your fingertips and your feet. One more breath here. No sagging. Draw everything to the midline as you bend the front knee. Come back to warrior two. Exhale, hands down to frame the front foot and step back. Down dog. You can go through a vinyasa here if you like. If you love that motion, it's got some up dog in it. It's got a push up in it. When you join us, left leg reaches high on the inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. That's very aspirational. And reach high, inhale. And exhale, knee towards your nose, shoulders glide forward. Reach back, down dog, one leg up. And then left foot forward between your hands, right heel down. Come up into warrior two. Sink here. Sinking is not sloppy. Sinking is drawing everything towards the midline. Arms overhead. Descend the right arm down your right side body. Concentrate on the left forearm, reaching forward, extended side angle, forearm to thigh. Turn your ribs up towards the ceiling. Try to open that upper shoulder. And then left hand simply glides onto your left shin. Straighten the front leg for balance. Maybe look down at your left foot. Float your right arm overhead, triangle pose. One more breath here. You're right here, right now. And then bend into the front knee. Lift your torso vertical. And roll your hands down. Step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms overhead. Reach through your ring fingers. And then your hands come down to your side. Hands on your hips. Have a block handy near the top of your mat. Step your left foot back. This is like the yardstick step. Soft bend in both knees, not a bend, big bend, just a soft bend. Bow forward over the front thigh, pyramid pose. So this is where I would like a block under my left hand so that I don't hang in the pose, I can be active in the pose. Press down into the big toe mound of your front foot. Lift up the arch of your front foot. Same thing on the back. And then step into the front foot, bring your torso vertical. Left leg crosses right over the right. Maybe it's a kickstand. Left arm comes under right. Eagle arms, lift your elbow tips. Push your hands forward. Put your attention around your shoulder blades and let them spread across your back. Sink your hips as much as you like. If you want to get even deeper into your eagle posture, you can try to bring your elbow tips towards your knees, but keep everything hugging to the midline. You are so powerful. Release your hands. Simply stand up, feet in a normal position, arms overhead. Exhale your hands to your sides. It's fine if you want to look down at your feet. Step the right foot back. This is the yardstick step. Right foot down. Toes are pointed a little bit forward. Your legs are coming towards straight, but not locked out. Lift your chest and then bow forward into pyramid. This is where making the floor elevate to reach your hand is really helpful. Try placing your left hand on your back body, the flat of your back, it's where the sacrum is, just to notice another aspect of your posture. Press into the big toe mound, front foot, shorten those arches, lift them up. Breathe here. Find an inhale breath to step forward, cross the right leg over the left. That's eagle legs, and then right arm under the left arm. Wrap up, maybe your hands can clasp. Press your forearms together, press your palms together. Notice how that activates the muscles in the top and the back of your shoulders. Elbow tips up, hands forward. Sink your hips, eagle pose. We're trying to make all the connective tissue under your scapula, your shoulder blades, a little more slippery. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands to your side. Place your hands on your iliac crest, the top of your pelvis, as if you were wearing pretty high traditional blue jeans. Look down at your feet. They're parallel to each other and the distance of your hips, the width of your hips. Draw your elbow tips back, push your heart forward and lean back. So activate your quads. Your toes are light, but your feet are powerful. Look up, look up. You can use your hands to push your hips gently forward. lots of support. You have the normal curvature of your lumbar spine and no dumping into it. Keep breathing. So this is standing camel. If you have lots of control of the weight of your head, that is a heavy bowling ball on your shoulders. You can glide your gaze up to the ceiling. And then by pushing your hips back, release out of standing camel. Bring your hands together in a fist in front of you, and then turn them inside out. Push the unfist, the open hands forward. Bring them back. We're going to do standing camel one more time. Everybody reach your arms overhead and then swim them behind you, helping to open your shoulders, hands in the hip pockets, soft knees, lift your gaze. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, your quads are working for you and you are leaning back, your hips are gliding forward a little bit, and you're making a safe choice about your neck and the weight of your head. Draw your elbow tips towards each other in the back of your body. One more breath here. And then release. Bend your knees a bit more, release your hands. Arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, push them in front of you. And then exhale into a forward fold. Take your time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Come down to your knees. And if you don't want to be on your knees, do standing camel again. If you have a block, put it between your inner thighs the long way. Tuck your toes so that your heel is elevated. You have to find where it's comfortable to have a block between your knees. The block is there to remind you to squeeze your inner thighs together. Swim your right arm up overhead. Swim your left arm up overhead. Now swim your right arm up overhead, right hand to the back pockets again, left arm, back pockets. Emphasis on your quads, inner thighs working together, elbow tips pulling together. Big inhale breath here. And then exhale, hips go forward, torso goes back, gaze goes up, camel pose. Squeeze that block. Reach for your heels if they're accessible. One more breath. And then exhale, unwind very slowly. And set the block to the side, uncurl your toes, and sink back into your version of child's pose. You can leave your knees right where they are, forehead down towards the mat. Bring your torso vertical, tuck your toes again. We're going to do camel pose one more time. Your choice whether to try the block between your legs again. Inhale, swim your right arm up, exhale it down. Inhale, swim your left arm up, exhale it down, striving for those slippery scapula. Inhale, both arms up, exhale them to your back body, or if you like, reach for your heels, draw your low ribs in. It may seem counterintuitive because they're trying to flare up towards the ceiling, but draw them in. Give yourself plenty of support. And when you're ready, release. First to child's pose. That's the counter pose. Reach your forehead down to the mat or place your hands in a stack so your forehead can touch the back of your hands. And then just slide onto one hip or the other. Swing your legs around. We're headed towards bridge pose. So before you even lie down, bring your heels close to your sitting bones. Lie down. Adjust your heels as close as you like. Push into them. Push your hip pointers up. If you like, you can make this a one-legged bridge by lifting one leg and supporting your hopefully pretty level pelvis with the strength of your other leg. If you like to cycle down to touch your pelvis to the floor and then push up again, try that for your bridge pose. Make your last bridge pose a big inhale breath, hip pointers as high as you can get them. And exhale down. Draw your knees and thighs in towards your chest. Roll knees and thighs to the left. Keep your knees high. Reach your right arm out to the right. Supine twist, very simple. You can experiment with making a snow angel, real slow one with your right arm. Just notice all the sensation in the front of your shoulder. And then roll to the center, knees high, thighs together, roll to the right, left arm wide. You can try that snow angel action, maybe just your fingertips are grazing the floor as you move your left arm up and down. Come back to center. Lift your torso towards your thighs, draw your thighs in and reach wide into Savasana, legs straight, heels down. Tuck your shoulder blades towards each other, open palms. Savasana. Generous inhale breath to fill up your body. Open up, exhale, big sigh. Feel it all the way down to the very bottom of your diaphragm. Reach your arms overhead. Make length between your fingertips and your toe tips. Roll your wrist and ankle joints. Flex and point. Draw your knees towards your chest and then roll over whichever side's comfortable for you. Just pause on your side for a moment. And then when you're ready, push yourself up to a seat. Chair, blanket, block. Or you might have chosen to stay in Savasana. That's totally cool. Drop your chin. Inhale your palms so they touch. Thumb to your chest. Think of something that you are grateful for. Inhale, thumbs to your forehead. Namaste. Have a great day.